Imagine a Hollywood star who rides the subway, wears the same clothes for years, and spends hours talking to every single fan at a premiere. This isn't a script for a feel-good movie. It's the real-life story of Keanu Reeves. From pushing a stranger's car out of traffic to giving away millions to children's hospitals, Keanu's acts of kindness seem almost too good to be true. But as we delve into the heartwarming encounters fans have shared, you'll discover why he's earned the title of Hollywood's most humble star. Get ready for a story that will restore your faith in humanity. The subway car groaned and swayed, packed with weary commuters heading home after a long day. The air was thick with the scent of sweat and frustration as people jostled for space in the crowded carriage. Amidst the sea of tired faces, a woman struggled to maintain her balance, her arms laden with grocery bags. As the train lurched around a corner, the woman stumbled, her groceries teetering precariously. Just as she thought she would fall, a strong hand reached out, steadying her. She looked up, grateful for the assistance, and found herself face to face with a man in a worn jacket and baseball cap. "Thank you," she murmured, relieved. The man nodded, a gentle smile playing on his lips. As she regained her footing, she noticed other passengers beginning to whisper and point. Confusion washed over her as she realized the attention wasn't directed at her, but at her savior. It was then that recognition dawned. The kind stranger who had come to her aid was none other than Keanu Reeves, Hollywood superstar. Her heart raced as she processed the surreal moment. Here was one of the most famous actors in the world, riding the subway like any ordinary person. But what happened next was even more extraordinary. Without hesitation or fanfare, Keanu offered her his seat. "Please," he said softly, "you look like you could use this more than I do." The simplicity of his gesture, devoid of any pretense or expectation, left her speechless. As she settled into the seat, clutching her groceries, she couldn't help but marvel at the situation. The subway car buzzed with excited whispers as other passengers realized who was among them. Yet Keanu remained unperturbed, standing quietly and holding onto the overhead rail as if he were any other commuter. The woman observed him discreetly, noticing how he seemed almost uncomfortable with the attention he was receiving. He kept his gaze lowered, occasionally offering a polite nod or smile to those who caught his eye, but never seeking to draw more attention to himself. As the journey continued, something remarkable began to happen. The initial excitement of spotting a celebrity gradually gave way to a sense of respect and admiration. Passengers who had been eagerly pointing and whispering now watched Keanu with a newfound appreciation for his humility. One brave soul finally broke the unspoken barrier. "Mr. Reeves," a young man called out, "I just wanted to say thank you for being so normal." Keanu looked up, a hint of surprise in his eyes. "We're all just trying to get home," he replied with a shrug and a warm smile. That simple exchange seemed to shift the atmosphere in the subway car. The divide between celebrity and ordinary citizen blurred, replaced by a sense of shared humanity. People began to chat quietly among themselves, discussing not Keanu's latest blockbuster, but the unexpected lesson in humility they had just witnessed. As the train pulled into the next station, the woman rose to leave. She turned to Keanu, who was still standing nearby. "Thank you again," she said, her voice filled with genuine gratitude. "Not just for the seat, but for reminding us all what really matters." Keanu's response was characteristically modest. "We're all in this together," he said softly, his eyes crinkling with warmth. "Have a good evening," as Keanu's words echoed in the minds of those on the subway. Little did they know that his humility extended far beyond his demeanor. A seemingly ordinary photograph was about to set the internet ablaze, challenging everything we thought we knew about celebrity culture. The image appeared innocent enough at first glance, just another paparazzi shot of Keanu Reeves going about his day. But as fashion blogs began to scrutinize the photo, they uncovered a surprising detail that would spark a nationwide conversation about values, excess, and the true meaning of style. The shirt Keanu wore in the picture was familiar, not because it was a designer brand or a trendy piece, but because it was the exact same shirt he had been photographed in 3 years prior. This revelation sent shockwaves through the online community, prompting fans to dig deeper into Keanu's wardrobe choices. As I scrolled through the countless posts and comments, I couldn't help but feel a growing sense of admiration for the actor. In a world where celebrities often treated their clothing as disposable, wearing outfits that cost more than some people's yearly salaries, Keanu's approach stood in stark contrast. the conversation shifted from mere fashion critique to a deeper examination of values. Fans began sharing their own Keanu sightings, each one revealing a pattern of simplicity and consistency in his style. It was as if we were collectively uncovering a hidden truth about one of Hollywood's biggest stars. One post caught my eye, a side-by-side comparison of Keanu's modest attire with the extravagant wardrobes of other celebrities. The difference was striking. While some stars donned outfits that could easily cost over $100,000, Keanu seemed content in his well-worn basics. As I delved deeper into the online discourse, I found myself questioning my own relationship with material possessions. If someone as successful as Keanu Reeves could find contentment in a handful of comfortable, familiar pieces, what did that say about our society's obsession with constant consumption and status symbols? The more I read, the more I realized that this wasn't just about clothes. Keanu's wardrobe choices were a reflection of his character, a physical manifestation of the humility and down-to-earth attitude that had endeared him to so many. It was as if each worn-in t-shirt and comfortable pair of jeans told a story of a man who valued substance over style, genuine connections over superficial impressions. This revelation challenged the very notion of celebrity excess. In a culture that often equated fame with lavish lifestyles and endless indulgence, Keanu's simple wardrobe stood as a quiet rebellion. It whispered of a different path, one where true style came not from the price tag on your clothes, but from the content of your character. The sun had barely risen over the horizon when the stunt team arrived on set, their bodies still aching from the previous day's grueling choreography. Little did they know that this day would be etched in their memories for reasons far beyond the physical demands of their profession. As they gathered in the makeshift gym, stretching tired muscles and discussing the day's stunts, an air of anticipation began to build. Whispers spread like wildfire through the group. Something was different today. The lead actor, Keanu Reeves, had been spotted arriving earlier than usual, accompanied by a nondescript truck. Curiosity piqued, the stunt performers exchanged glances, wondering what could possibly warrant such secrecy on an already tightly controlled set. As if summoned by their collective curiosity, Keanu appeared at the entrance of the gym. His presence alone was enough to command attention, but it was the smile playing at the corners of his mouth that truly captivated his audience. With a nod to someone outside, he stepped aside as crew members began to file in, each carrying a sleek black box. The stunt team gathered closer, their earlier fatigue forgotten in the face of this unexpected turn of events. Keanu cleared his throat, his voice carrying easily through the now silent room. "I wanted to thank each of you personally for your dedication and hard work," he began, his sincerity palpable. "What we've accomplished together on this film is nothing short of extraordinary, and I couldn't have done it without you." One by one, Keanu called each stunt performer forward. As he handed over the mysterious black boxes, the atmosphere in the room shifted from curiosity to disbelief. Inside each box lay a gleaming Rolex watch, its face catching the early morning light. But it wasn't just the luxury of the gift that left the recipients speechless. It was the personal touch. Each watch bore an engraving that read John Wick 5, along with a heartfelt message of gratitude. The stunt team stood in awe, many of them rendered speechless by this unexpected gesture. It wasn't just about the monetary value of the gift, but the thought and appreciation behind it. As the initial shock wore off, excited chatter filled the air. One stunt performer, his voice thick with emotion, shared, "What makes these stories special is that we always hear them from people Keanu has touched, and not the man himself. He's so kind and humble and collaborative. All the good things you hear about Keanu are true." But Keanu wasn't done yet. With a twinkle in his eye, he gestured towards the door once more. This time, crew members entered carrying trays laden with bottles of expensive champagne. The room erupted in cheers as Keanu explained that he wanted to celebrate not just the stunt team, but every single person who had contributed to making the film a reality. As the impromptu celebration unfolded, the stunt team marveled at the extent of Keanu's generosity. The watches alone were a princely gift, but the addition of champagne for the entire crew, a gesture that reportedly cost over $50,000, elevated the moment to something truly extraordinary. The night of the premiere arrived, a spectacle of flashing cameras and red carpet glamour. Fans had lined up for hours, their excitement palpable as they waited for a glimpse of their favorite stars. But this wasn't just any premiere. It was Keanu Reeves' latest film. and the air crackled with anticipation. As the first limousines pulled up, the crowd's energy surged. Celebrities emerged, waving and smiling as they made their way down the carpet. Security guards formed a human barrier, their eyes scanning for potential threats. It was a well-choreographed dance of fame and adoration, one that had been performed countless times before. But when Keanu's car arrived, something shifted. The security team moved to usher him quickly past the throng of fans, as they did with most high-profile stars. Yet Keanu hesitated, his eyes taking in the sea of hopeful faces. In that moment, a decision was made that would transform the entire evening. "I'd like to greet them," Keanu said softly to his handlers, gesturing towards the crowd. The security team exchanged glances, clearly concerned about the time and potential risks. But Keanu was resolute, his kind eyes reflecting a genuine desire to connect with those who had come to see him. What unfolded next was nothing short of extraordinary. Hours ticked by as Keanu made his way along the barricade, stopping to speak with each and every fan. He signed autographs, posed for selfies, and engaged in real conversations. It wasn't the hurried, perfunctory interactions typical of these events. Keanu listened intently, asked questions, and shared laughs with those who had waited so long to meet him. As the night wore on, word spread of Keanu's actions. Reporters abandoned their posts, drawn to this unexpected display of genuine star-fan interaction. Other celebrities, who had long since entered the theater, emerged to see what was causing the delay. What they witnessed was a masterclass in humility and appreciation. Amidst the whirlwind of excitement, a small figure caught Keanu's attention. A young child, no more than 7 or 8, stood trembling at the front of the crowd. Unlike the boisterous fans around them, this child seemed overwhelmed, barely able to speak as Keanu approached. Without hesitation, Keanu knelt down, bringing himself to eye level with the child. The crowd fell silent, all eyes on this unexpected tableau. Keanu's voice, gentle and encouraging, carried clearly in the hush. "It takes courage to come here today," he said, his eyes locked with the child's. "I'm proud of you." The impact of this simple act was immediate and profound. Tears welled up in the eyes of onlookers, and even the most jaded members of the press found themselves moved. In that moment, Keanu wasn't just a movie star. He was a beacon of kindness, in an industry often criticized for its superficiality. As the night drew to a close, it became clear that something fundamental had changed. The typical narrative of celebrity fan interactions had been rewritten. Keanu's actions had set a new standard, challenging his peers to reconsider their approach to fame and those who support it. As the sun began to set on our journey through Keanu Reeves's extraordinary acts of kindness, a profound realization settled over me. His actions weren't just random occurrences, they were a deliberate choice to redefine what it means to be a star in Hollywood. The glitz and glamour faded into the background, replaced by a genuine connection with those around him. I couldn't help but wonder about the ripple effect of such small acts of kindness. How many lives had been touched by Keanu's humility? How many people had been inspired to pay it forward? It was then that I remembered a quote from the man himself: "I know that the ones who love us will miss us." In that simple statement, Keanu captured the essence of human connection and the impact we have on each other's lives. His words echoed in my mind, a reminder that true stardom isn't measured by fame or fortune, but by the lives we touch and the kindness we share. As I pondered this, I realized that Keanu's legacy would be far greater than any movie he'd ever made. It would be the countless acts of compassion he inspired in others, a ripple effect that would continue long after the credits rolled.